welcome to another edition of Digicel. No, I want to say Happy New Year. Three,
do what you're supposed to do.
2, and 1. Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford.
Hey, stop. Before we even go into the introduction, let's say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all you guys.
How was the cold?
Was it? I saw a lizard drop out of a tree.
He didn't want no more that cool.
I thought they were supposed to tell us when it was cold.
They did. Then you saw him drop out of the tree.
Not by that. They supposed to head south quicker than us?
Well, they did. They ran as far south as they could get.
Rest in peace, iguanas.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get away from the cold either here in Bermuda. But over the Christmas break, we had the Shield and Friendship Trophy Finals. Mm-hmm. Got a chance to speak with Scott Morton and Jamar. Also, we had quite a few of our elite athletes back home.
Yes.
Got a chance to speak with a few of them. But we'll get to all of that after this message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber-to-the-home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber-to-the-home network.
Well, Jay, we had the turn of the year, and on New Year's Day at Wellington Oval, large crowd on hand to watch.
Which was expected.
Yes. The first match, what we consider a derby, Paget, Rangers. No Dion Stubble for Paget. They missed that extra little added stuff that Dion brings to the game, but they did give Rangers everything they can ask for. Rangers ended up winning 2-1. Got a chance to speak with Jomar after the game, who was a bit under the weather, but nonetheless wanted to talk to him about, the game and then looking forward for the rest of 2018 because they are in a promotion battle. So let's get the interview with Jomar Wilkinson. Well, Jomar, nothing comes easy, and Pageant made you guys fight to the end. But overall, you start 2018 with a win. But how do you expect this to carry you through for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, first I want to say my hat goes off to Paget. They really should have gave a classy performance. You know what I mean? But we want to do more than them. We understand what it takes to beat Paget, and we showed that today. I'm very proud of my boys today. They understood the game plan and they executed.
Now, a big field, you guys spread it out early. You could see that Paget was running a bit out of steam, but they got hearts and they kept fighting. What was some of the tactical changes you decided to make at halftime to enforce what you wanted to do?
I think I just instilled that possession was a big component of today. We understand it was a big field. We had needed to make the field big and dominate possession. In turn, they were tired and they would make mistakes, and we understood that and we was patient with that. I would have liked to see my team be a little bit more patient in the last start of the field, but that's a process. The young team, they made a lot of progress. My hat goes off to them. They gave me everything I want as a coach from the beginning, from day one. They're committed, and this validates that hard work does pay off. You know what I mean? If players are willing to be honest, we can be successful.
Well, congratulations and all the best for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, what did you think about what Jomar said?
Well, with Jomar, we mentioned Jomar a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I thought many people overlooking the job that he's done at the Rangers to turn around. And we talked about many times in sports, it's all about confidence, hope. And when you give that to a team, sometimes they play above their size.
Right.
Because a lot of players, especially amateur players, don't really know their full potential. You know, if they stick to a structured plan, if they get in some type of shape,
Right.
what your actual potential could be. And sometimes you need a coach / motivator / psychiatrist maybe
Well, yeah.
to
Line them up.
they become all of those and some. And I think he's done a great job, and just the success so far. You see that he's got the backing of the club,
Right.
but has also got now the backing of the players. And it's going to be interesting how they do finish the season, because they are in a battle. But on the flip side, let's look at Pageant. Yes, they were defeated in this trophy, but they are still on top of the table.
Right.
And nobody, probably means I need to coach you to believe this, but I think nobody would ever believe to see Pageant where they are now,
Right.
and be competing for a trophy.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's.
You know you're in for some ridicule now, right?
I know, and the boys from Montreal, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody came into this 2018 season. Yes, guys are coming back. They're picking up some players.
They were probably hoping they would be in this position, but really.
I mean, cheap talk. When I say cheap talk,
Right. We can win it.
yeah.
But do you believe it?
Yeah.
Now that they're in the position,
No,
they can believe it.
believe
Yeah.
it. And I think this is what's gonna happen, and even for coaching side of it, it's gonna be the battle of how to win. And Joma with Rangers has that experience of how to win.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to be a good battle going down the stretch. Still some other teams that are
Well, you got BA in the mix.
BA that's still there,
Rangers,
and St. Davis is not far.
Right.
St. Davis and Eagle, but they're not far.
Right.
So don't rest on, okay, we've made it here, we've made it. I told you before we went on break is that the biggest thing is how many guys really take a break.
Right.
Because if they come back flat,
They could be out of it right away.
they could be out of it
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
They could be out of it right away.
Yeah.
So quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, then we had the friendship final. A lot at stake. Two of the clubs that have a lot of history in the event. North Village Rams has a history of winning it 11 times. PHC was on 10. Somerset Trojans was on 11. And it was a battle to see who was going to either take the lead or become a joint leader. PHC so far this season has proven without reasonable doubt that they are the best team in Bermuda. They've proved it over and over and over again. Only one blemish on the record, which was a draw.
Yeah.
But just to watch them play, all youngsters running around, North Village playing a lot of second fiddle football, but they had their chances as well. But unfortunately, on the day it was all PHC. Scott Morton after the game talked about just having the opportunity to have these guys buy into a system, which is a good feeling for a coach. When you're winning, it's all good like that.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to at the early part of the season when the fallout between him and the captain came. He's actually now in full control of that team because of his actions. No one is bigger than this team. It's a team effort, and we will stick to that regardless.
Yeah, and I mentioned it at the time. I mentioned at the time that that's going to be a critical point because not only players, but fans.
Yeah.
And fans put a lot of pressure on management because a lot of times they are vocal.
Yeah, very much so.
So when you're winning, it hides a lot of negativity.
Yes.
And I think that was I told you, even those Sakura got substituted in the first half of that game. The biggest thing was that PhD went to school about 6-7 goals after.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they would have lost, it would have been a different turn,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Totally different turn.
Yeah.
And they run after that.
Yeah.
So that sort of made the ride a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, we just talked about it, saying that when you have structure in place, I can't even say that, because PCA football always has structure.
Always had, yeah.
Always has structure. But tweaking and more than that, seeing the team, been around the team, been around those players,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So he knew exactly what to come in and just make certain tweaks.
Right.
The physical attributes that PC's been doing for that
Right.
for many years. So it's not like he brought that to the PAC system,
Mm-hmm.
but it's now how to mash everything together. And what you see now is it's. I tell people, if you do want to see some football in Bermuda, PAC, and I'm just saying because I'm wearing black or white, but if you see just the game itself,
Mm-hmm.
when you look at, like I said, physical attributes, skill, and then execution. Because sometimes a coach, you know this, you've been a coach, or even a player. A coach will give you all the plans.
Yeah. Players have to go and execute it.
Coach, you over there, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm here.
Let me do it. Yeah.
You know?
And there are times in games where you have to say that to the coach, but he and you have to have that understanding that, okay, it's not working the way we planned it, so we have to revert to something different. And there's been times in a game where I've said it. Listen, we're gonna have to change it a little bit. And that trust has to be around the board kind of thing.
But the understanding
Mm-hmm.
of the system,
Right.
I think they're done great at.
Oh yeah.
Because what we've seen over this season, teams have a plan A.
Mm-hmm.
And when plan A don't work,
You gotta switch it
or
up.
lost.
Right, because some of them don't even know how to go to plan B. And that's the scary part.
And that's just what you're seeing with PAC,
Yeah.
where teams are what we call parking the bus.
Yeah.
Teams are
Yeah.
playing in different systems.
Right.
They've learned other ways to get at you.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear the comments from North Village's coach,
Mm.
and I've heard this throughout the season, they didn't allow us to play our game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Disrupt. Just with speed, you know.
They didn't allow.
Shut you down real quick.
We wasn't able to play our game.
Mm-hmm. On a big field like Wellington Oval.
When a team opposes their will on you,
Mhm.
and all you seem to be doing is chasing,
Mm-hmm.
which we've heard
Yeah. Plenty of times.
plenty of times this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's interesting because this is not an overnight thing like we see with Pageant coming back. You know,
Right.
PAC was just a couple. They lost last year
Yeah.
in the finals
Yeah.
to Devonshire Cougars.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, they said it wasn't a revenge of any sort.
Right.
But nobody forgets going down Wellington Oval
Mm-hmm.
in the winter
Yes.
and losing a trophy.
Yeah. No one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Some people may believe it. Me, never.
Right. Well, let's get the interview with Scott Morton after the friendship victory on New Year's Day. Well, Scott, another trophy. You start 2018 off the way I guess you wanted it.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the game itself. Spacious field. You got a chance to spread North Village wide. You guys seem to dictate at times, but they also had their opportunities.
Right.
Overall, what was the performance like for PHC?
Much better today. We love playing on bigger fields, obviously, because we have the players to do that. That's our style of play that we will always bring to any team. It's up to them to nullify us, but we're always looking out for that too. But I just love the occasion. The players gave everything they had out on the pitch. You can see that, the belief that they have in them. The trust is just all throughout, you know, with the trust from me, the trust from them, and the club. The support that the club gives us just makes it much easier to go out and perform.
Do you feel added pressure now you've collected, what is trophy number 3 for the season?
Yeah.
Do you feel the added pressure to finish it off, picking up the last 2?
No, our motto is always the next match. So we never think about in the past because that can hinder your future. So it's important to just focus on what's coming next and keep a level head and stay humble.
How are the injuries and everything? Because you guys played a lot of football over this period, and you want to turn right back into the league. So how is everyone feeling going through that?
Yeah, it's good. Was only just today, Kadeem Abraham got an unfortunate injury. We'll get him looked at, but we have plenty of replacements. The players work hard. Some of the college students are back, so they'll still fit in. As you saw, Tristan Hall came on today and done an extreme good job for the team.
What about Marco Warren? A special youngster, took that first goal very well, but overall he's been somewhat of a standout with others, but a standout for PHC this season thus far.
I'm just glad he's on PHC's team. That's all I can say, because I don't know what type of defense you can put up against him, but he's just so intelligent, he's so phenomenal. But again, with the support that he has around him and allowing him to have freedom to express himself, and then we just work on supporting him from there.
All right, well, all the best in 2018.
Yeah, thank you, Earl.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, this weekend is FA Cup.
Yes.
We've got 2 matches on Saturday night and a host of matches on Sunday. On Saturday night, up at the Summers Cricket Club at 8 p.m. Cup match.
Yeah.
Somerset Trojans will entertain St. George's Coast.
One legs.
What's that? Somerset got a
Familiar, right?
Yeah, both teams will come in on the high.
Yes.
Somerset will feel good about the fact that they were able to beat Young Men's Social Club 2-1 last Saturday night at Somerset. And St. George's came off a 8-1 victory over Wolves on Sunday at Devonshire Rack, avenging that Shield matchup. So, I mean, it's all about emotion and high. Both teams will be up and ready for it. That atmosphere of St. George's versus Somerset will be in the air, obviously. So it's all to play for in FA Cup, anybody.
Well, weather providing, and I say weather permitting, I didn't even expect a good crowd up there.
Oh, yeah.
Because we look at both those clubs and loyal supporters, no matter what it is. They
Yeah.
get a potluck and they both support each other. Hopefully the weather stays, because this week normally it's a rainy week in Bermuda.
Yeah.
International race weekend, so it's normally, getting close to it.
Yeah.
But it is, so it's normally rainy. But in saying that, you're right, they're absolutely right. St. George is coming off a win, which a pathetic win. I didn't think they would even really come muster up 8 goals. They probably scored 8 goals probably the last 6 weeks.
But they haven't played in those 6 weeks.
They was on the field, they just wasn't playing. But to say that the Conway, obviously, confidence we mentioned there, Donovan Thompson actually knocking them in.
Yeah.
I believe Bassett and a few other guys are knocking them in. So, but Somerset, I think the coaching staff, they've worked through some of their kinks. And some of the influx of the college players. But also, I got to give shout outs to the PDL, I believe. Winning over the holiday tournament, because when you look at the Smith Rattery brothers,
Right.
looking to play probably a bigger role now after helping to win the PDL trophy.
Check it out. That's good.
Yeah, so like I said,
Pretty good. You was hoping?
Well, for some
You're like hoping that Gennaro would play cup match again. But anyway, back to the Smith Rattery brothers.
It's just a sore loser, ain't you?
No, I'm not gonna say no.
You was
How much? No.
How much party did you do when he retired?
Me?
As a Georgia's fan.
No.
You gave him a party gift too?
Nah.
Yeah, you did. Narrow. But to get back to the game, it should be a good game up at Somerset Cricket Club, man. Even though it's a smaller field for St. George's, it's a night game. As most players, night games always brings that actual flair in.
Right.
So I'm looking for a good battle, but I would assume that Somerset should have an edge. Just being the Premier Division team.
Right. Well, that's the way you look at it. Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, 9 o'clock done at BAA, Flanagan's Onions will entertain Robin Hood.
Lex.
Robin Hood coming off a 3-1 loss to
They
Denton.
are mad.
Flanagan's are in a slump right now. Anything FA Cup, I expect Robin Hood to win, but I expect Flanagan's to put up an entertaining.
This is what I'm scared about, though, with Robin Hood. This is what I'm scared about. So we're talking about FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a trophy that will go through the rest of the league, rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Robin Hood's team is thin.
Depleted, to say the least.
And yes, you are playing in Flanagan's. What's the worst case scenario?
Get knocked out, be healthier the next round to make a run back for the league title. Yeah.
So they can win this game, but if they lose any players,
Mm-hmm.
do you know how much?
Because they've already lost the defender in Dante Lavra. Not sure if Mazai will be back in enough time to get in the
He's
team.
down to the Taliban.
Yeah. There's so many things going on, and when
And they were already depleted prior.
yeah, they had during the Friendship Trophy, obviously with an influx of players back from school, they had a bench. But when those players disappear again, you're kind of left with what you have, and that means John Barry Newsom having to suit up.
Yeah.
So it's an unfortunate thing. As defending champions, you want to make sure that you put in a good showing. Not saying they haven't because they're 2nd, but the pressure's on looking at the outfit right now to say where can we turn next if something happens. Because if a player, like you said, if a player goes down and they win, but the player is unavailable for 3 or 4 weeks, man, you're in a lot of trouble.
Not just the FA Cup, because remember, you still got that, but also the league.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might win this game, but you cannot afford to lose. And one thing about injuries, you just never know.
Never know. Yeah.
Just never know. So for me, that's probably what I'll be looking at more than the actual scoreline.
Right.
Is how healthy Robin will come out of this match.
Yeah, without a doubt. Then on Sunday at 12:30 at Devonshire Recreation Club, Wolves, who lost 8-1 on Sunday, will take on the Dendy Town Hornets, who beat Robin Hood 3-1 on Sunday. Massacre.
Licks. Sometimes I used to say rough, but
Yeah.
this is licks.
Wow.
It's if you got beaten by 81 by Georges, these Hornets are gonna sting you harder than they.
Yeah, I think Dendy Town want to continue that good run and continue the good form, so they're going to look to play positive football and attacking football.
Well, for them, they have to, because they want to keep that confidence and know that, hey, the league's not over for
Right.
PAC.
Yeah.
Yes, PAC has a 7-point lead on everybody, especially with Robin Hood losing, but 2 losses, or realistically, have 1 loss.
Right. A loss and a draw, and everybody else has a chance.
Everybody's back in the so that's not, and you gotta think about it. That's not, because most everybody still gotta play everybody again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now they want to keep that going. So unfortunately, Wolves.
Gonna feel the wrath.
Woo.
Not double digits though.
Are you sure about that?
Wolves will play for the striker.
You can't have 2 goalkeepers.
If I'm fitting the jersey.
No, I don't know if it'd be doubles, but would I be surprised?
Yeah. Well, at Bernard Park at 2:30, North Village Rams will take on St. David's.
Interesting matchup. You'd be surprised, but they do have some ties.
Oh yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Well, the coach will learn at St. David's.
Yeah.
Made his football trade at North Village, so he's gonna want them to fight his battle.
You got a couple of Village players who stayed in
St.
St.
David's.
David's.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be quite an interesting on-field experience. But with Village coming off that,
Well, the loss on New Year's Day,
Yeah.
a draw with Boulevard. Well, Boulevard getting a last minute penalty kick. sort of keeps them spirit-wise
They haven't
down.
won. They haven't won this year.
No, they haven't. They haven't, and DeVar's going to demand a better performance.
Yeah.
And hopefully, for St. David's sake, is they can get an early start and keep them at bay.
This. I don't want to say it, but it's cool. That ugly.
Yeah.
And a bit. He hasn't been playing lately. Crockle.
Yeah. Okay.
So. And I think they will need somebody like that for this particular game. But it's the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So stranger things have happened. We've seen it before. But I expect Village to win this easily.
Right. Then it's a derby. It's a derby. The names together are derby.
I would say 1967.
Young Men Social Club are at home to PHC.
19.
The names together make it a derby. The actual playing on the field makes it a runaway.
I was just saying, 1967, the Bluebirds, were really, flying.
No, they're flying, just in the opposite direction right now.
They haven't taken off this year. Unfortunately, they haven't taken off this year.
They're not Bluebirds.
Well, I don't want to go what bird they are, but they haven't taken off. The wings have been clipped. The Premier Division has not been kind to the Bluebirds.
Not at all.
And wow, so they actually double digits.
No.
Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think it's going to be double digits. Boy, if it gets to 9, I have to run on the field. Stop this game.
Abandoned it. Why? Because I was saying that. No, it's be interesting how PSC even approaches it, because you did mention about some players coming back for teams. Obviously, some players now be leaving or have left. So this is probably a way to bring back in some of those fringe players,
Right.
to see what you're doing now, or some of those players that you did rest,
Yeah.
give them some game time. So depending on what approach, these teams have played quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So and it's not like they don't know the field.
Right. Yeah. Well, I know this next match is one you'll be watching out for.
Yeah.
And that is Crossroads are at home to the Paget Lions.
Yeah. Crossroads is tricky.
I think, and you said this earlier, and I think I have to look at it in that light. When a team's playing in the Premier Division, the pace is a little faster, the ball moves a little quicker, the intensity is a little higher, and that's where I'll give Crossroads the edge over Paget on this. Only because if you look at how they came up with a 1-1 draw with Devonshire Cougars. They came in on the back end of a good performance at the tail end of 2017. So I think for them, confidence will be high. Paget's confidence will also be high, but I think if the level in which Crossroads have been playing at or against this season will actually help them to get over the hurdle of Paget.
Exactly right. I totally agree. I think, I won't say get used to, but they've adjusted a bit of how the speed of through, and most teams come up. That's probably one of my biggest challenges is to adjust to the speed. Now, are they faring well? Thus so far.
Yeah.
Do I expect them probably to go down? Probably. It's gonna be close.
Who, Crossroads?
Yeah.
Nah, it's gonna be Flanagan's and Social Club.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot about Flanagan's.
Yeah. Now, I tell you this: if Paget were playing Social Club, you throw that out the door.
Yeah. But I will say this. You mentioned about the Islandstats. I mentioned this, I think, prior to the last year, one of our last shows. When you have a proven goal scorer, a proven threat, so even if he doesn't score, and there's a threat, do you know that, leaves other people available?
Yeah. Now, we talked about this in another game. why would you play him? It'll be the same scenario as Robin Hood.
And that's where I would. This game
For them, the league is more
this
important.
game for me is if Deion Stubble plays.
Mhm. And if he, God forbid,
If Deion Stubble plays,
Patrick Ian for a chance.
good chance.
Yeah.
And I think not just a chance of winning, but a chance of the confidence players, fans, and everybody, because they've all brought in to what Stubble has brought to the team.
Right.
And once Stubble's not in the team,
Yeah. It's a different team.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but they play. We said it. You got to play the reward risk factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really crazy because once again they are leaving for. I mean, they are on top of the table, leading.
Yeah.
And we sort of touched on before we finished off last year. Deion Stubble was a two-sport player.
Mm-hmm.
The other sport is cricket.
Or 2 in February.
There is a cricket tour with the likelihood of Deion Stubble will be on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to make a commitment
Mm-hmm.
very shortly,
If not already.
if not already,
Yeah.
to put on the football boots and pick up the cricket bat.
What would he decide?
And I tell you, because the position that Pat has been in now, it's made that decision
That much tougher?
because I believe going into the year, I play some football with a lot of these guys to stay in shape.
Right.
Let me help out the neighborhood team while I'm at it.
Mm-hmm.
Get some guys together. The guys,
What is D's first love? That would actually tell you what decision
I
he
wouldn't
would
even say
make.
that. I wouldn't say that. Let me I'll tell you what D's first love is: competition.
Mm.
And because it doesn't matter what sport he plays.
Right.
And he will always be looking to play a higher competition.
And the opportunity to play the competition right now is going to be February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, that is just I don't care what guys say, there's nothing better than representing your country.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Yes, us as fans, we say some terrible things to our national athletes. But to know when your days are all said and done,
Mm-hmm.
you've had the opportunity that many people haven't had.
Yeah.
Everybody could, I won't say everybody, but many people have played Premier who's never represented the Island.
Right. Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about local legends,
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood legends, who's never put on a Bermuda jersey.
Right.
So, the opportunity to do that, I will push Deion every minute of the way to put yourself in that Bermuda jersey.
Right.
Because we talk about it many times. I always want to see my best talent represent Bermuda.
Right.
In any international
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the last matchup, interesting one. Boulevard Blazers will play BAA at Lords.
Yeah. And I will only give Boulevard the head on this because it's a home field.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're just going back down there this year. But I'll give them that little edge, plus the fact that BA would have lost some players also.
Going back to
Returning
school.
back to school.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason, because can BA beat them? Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
I feel, yes, they can.
Right.
But if Boulevard, I think, to be honest with you, this goes the first goal, might be a talent story. You know?
Right. Right. I think Kenny and Andrew will have BAA up for this battle. Will Boulevard show up?
Wow.
And that, I mean, if they show up,
Once they
they're
show-
always a good team.
Once they show up on the field,
Yeah.
that day, not being there, present,
Right.
show up
To play football.
to play football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. If they go down early,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have that fortitude. They haven't showed that they've got the fortitude to fight. I mean, mind you.
Well, you got the scenario again of them playing in Premier Division football. They came on, they got that last minute. That last minute penalty equalizer for them would be a win emotionally.
Yeah.
Because they didn't lose.
Yeah.
And they were able to come away with something after going down in the 87th minute. You would think, oh man, we lost this game.
Right.
But then
So
they scored.
That's why I just pulled my comment back just now. Not showing the fortitude because they showed that in the last game.
Right.
So I will strike that comment.
Right.
Have you seen a consistent play out of that?
No.
But taking off the last game, we did see that.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Like I said, that even though that was a draw, that may have been a switch that said, "Hey guys, we still can compete with the top teams.
Right.
We're still elite team in the Premier. So we should take care of BA
Right.
just on that strength."
Right.
And we talked about the speed, even though Boulevard, they should be playing at a faster pace. Depends on because BA does play a lot of possession.
Yeah. And Lords is a spacious field.
Lords of spacious field. So this is where coaching might come into really play. You see, we keep the ball away from Boulevard.
Right.
And Andrew knows the Boulevard.
Yeah.
So be quite interesting.
Very interesting.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, over the Christmas break, we had some elite athletes back on island in the sport of triathlon. We got a chance to speak with Tyler Smith, Tyler Butterfield, and Erica Hawley. Let's get a snippet of each one of them's interview. Well, Tyler Butterfield, welcome back to Bermuda. Home is always a good place to come back to. But we're looking at 2018, and what are some of the things you're looking forward to doing and accomplishing for yourself in the sport in the year to come?
Yeah, it's great to be home. Thanks for having me and having me on the show. I always love coming back to Bermuda. 2018 will be an interesting one. I'm sort of getting older.
Not you.
I can have a couple more years left, but you definitely have to have reasons. It's getting harder to get out the door. 2018 with Commonwealth Games is pretty amazing. Provisionally, I think we've qualified a team for Bermuda, which is pretty amazing. From a country of 65,000 people to have 4 athletes in the same sport at an international level is amazing. Obviously, Flora is running the show, being a two-time world champ in that discipline of Olympic distance triathlon, and then I think she's a 6 or 7-time world champ. Is when you add in all the other the non-Olympic sports. But it's amazing to see what Bermuda's produced, and for me that's a highlight. Personally, I'm better at the Ironman distance, the longer distance, the 8-hour races, but the fact that Bermuda can put a team event in, and Commonwealth Games is a sprint distance, which is around an hour race, and then the super sprint, which is basically a swim, bike, swim for 4 people.
Right.
It's not one of us swims, one of us bikes, one of us runs.
Right.
But that's a huge highlight for me personally, to see the sort of baton handed off. I mean, growing up, there was Elliot Hubbard, and Chris Hedges, people ahead of me that were doing it, and then I followed them, and Flores came along, and Flores by far set a standard that a small country can have the best in the world. She's now 2-time world champ at an Olympic event. It's pretty amazing that someone from Bermuda has done that. And sometimes I don't think people fully grasp what she's accomplished.
Right.
And so I hope she has a great Commonwealth Games, because people can sometimes understand that the games a little more.
Right.
But yeah, it's exciting for me, but it's exciting for Bermuda.
Well, Tyler Smith, 2018 is a big year in the sport of triathlon, not just for you, but for the sport generally. In 2018, we have obviously Commonwealth Games, the big one in April here in Bermuda.
Yeah.
But how are you setting yourself up for 2018?
For me, hopefully, the biggest race in 2018 will be the Commonwealth Games, and that's something that I'm really trying to target, and hopefully I make the selection for that competition. So right now, up until now, I've just been focused on laying down a solid base of training and really trying to take advantage of being back in Bermuda and the relatively good weather for me, and then hopefully later in the year start to build on more speed and continue from where I was last year.
Now, you currently train with a group of athletes who are well known around the world. But when you see the likes of Flora Duffy from Bermuda dominating the women's scene, obviously people want to know if you know her, number one, and what are you guys doing special in Bermuda that's got a world champion? We also have someone doing Ironman, and then you and Erica right behind.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when you say you're from Bermuda, the number one thing that you get within triathlon is, oh, do you know Flora Duffy and stuff? And I think Bermuda Triathlon's in a really, really good place right now. Obviously, we have a world champion. Then we have Tyler, who's doing very well in the long distance stuff, and then Erica and myself coming up through the junior ranks. And then there's even some more youth in the youth sort of division behind us. And then hopefully we'll be able to put a mixed relay team together for the Commonwealth Games, and I think that would be something that's very special, and it's pretty motivating to have that as a goal as well, because obviously you have other people that you don't want to let down on the team. So that's something that I think all of us are definitely looking forward to being able to do, and being able to represent Bermuda in that way, which is unique.
Well, Erica Hawley, welcome back first of all.
Thank you.
What's your plan for 2018?
So I started training camp in Tucson, Arizona for the first 2 months, and then a couple of races in March, and then hopefully if I'm selected, then the Commonwealth Games in April, and then beyond that is kind of a mystery.
Now, Commonwealth Games is a big thing because there's a possibility that Bermuda can enter a team. How significant in your career would it be to compete with the likes of Tyler Butterfield, Flora Duffy, and Tyler Smith?
I think it would be unreal. Just for Bermuda to have a team is pretty crazy considering our small population. So I think it would just be like a dream come true. Like I've done Major League Triathlon, and that was like a team environment as well, with people from around the U.S. and like Canada. But for 4 people from like the same country, like the camaraderie and all that would be just insane. Yeah.
Now, you've been competing for a while now at the junior elite level. It's taking a step up, coming out of that junior elite. Is it kind of a scary territory that you'll be now in a different level?
I wouldn't say scary. I mean, I did a couple of Continental Cups last year, so I like have a feel for it. I mean, I will be doing like my first World Cups this year, which is kind of scary. But I'm more excited to see like where I am compared to everyone else, and like I'm excited for my first race. Yeah.
Now we talk about the Continental Cup, which was held earlier this year. Got a chance to compete internationally on home soil.
Yeah.
But in April we have the WTS series. Now, age group and elite runner participants, but to be able to compete in Bermuda internationally, is that a significant achievement for a small place like Bermuda?
Oh yeah, it's huge. I mean, just to spectate even, and like for everyone to like watch you and kind of see you, that like it's like for our events anyway, they're not like televised because we're like, I was junior and like the Continental Cups, but like for like my like Nana and like all of my sponsors and people to just like be able to see me race, and it's really just a true testament of like who you are, and they can see like the effort you've put in.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, another person that was back over the break was Madeline Moore. She's now got a full scholarship to a U.S. school. She's over in the U.K. swimming. She's now going to be in the U.S. Got a chance to sit down and talk to her about her ride and the fact of where she's come from. I mean, it's not been easy for her. There's decisions to be made about 2018, and she lets us know just how those decisions will pan out for her. So let's get the interview with Maddie Moore. Maddie, exciting news. You become, well, one of the few who would attend a U.S. school for swimming. How exciting is it for you to, first of all, take us through the process of why this particular school and the rest of the exciting news?
So basically I didn't realize actually that I started the recruiting process a bit late into the signing period, because the British system is a lot different, and I didn't really get that. So when I contacted a recruiter to help me, because I wasn't really sure how to crack the US system, so he told me that I only had a few weeks to find a school to sign with them. So I mean, the pressure was already there to find a school, but I was actually quite happily surprised when, after he sent out my times and all my information, I got quite a few offers from different places in the US, and so there was stuff, offers, quite a few from Florida, a lot in the Midwest, a couple in Colorado, but after kind of looking into each school, I found that the Colorado would be best suited for me. So I did quite a few Skype interviews, and when I Skyped the head coach from Northern Colorado, we clicked immediately. I loved her from the start. She was so enthusiastic. She's new to the program in Northern Colorado because she came from Alabama. She was the head coach there for I think 7 years, and she built that up to what it is now, which already made me quite excited because I can see what she wants to do with the Colorado program. But yeah, it just we just got on really well.
Obviously, looking at the campus online, looking at the facilities and so forth, what is the difference between where you're at now, Plymouth Leander, to what you're going to be encountering in Colorado?
Well, one of the other things that I found with why she was so excited, so the director of sport at Northern Colorado, they don't tend to put a lot of money into the swim aspect of all the sports. It's mainly football, basketball, but he really wanted to build up the swim program, and they put a lot of money into renovating the gym and the pool and getting new equipment, and yeah, she got me really excited with that. And I don't know, the difference with where I am now is, and where I want to go, they're a lot more specific to what you want to do, whereas in Plymouth now they don't generalize. They do have sprint and mid-distance, but I feel like in the US, especially my coach Lisa, she came from a background of her dad used to be one of the top people in the US swimming, so I just feel like she knows what she wants to do. So yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a little different because in the U.S. you do yards as opposed to meters. Adjusting to that, how difficult do you think it's going to be for you?
I mean, I've trained yards before because I was training in Minnesota for a little while, but I feel like as long as I get the yardage in, still like the same amount, the ratio to meters to yards, it should be fine. It's just with yards, you have to be a lot more technical with the starts, turns, finishes. Like it's a lot more speedy than it would be long course meters, but then you can transfer that into long course where you'll have great starts, great turns, great finishes. So it really does transfer.
Well, Jay, Work Academy have introduced a pilot program that has reaped rewards right away. Ben Smith, the national coach, swimming coach, along with the principal at Work Academy, came up with an idea to keep youngsters in Bermuda. We've seen a lot of our kids go away to boarding school to get these extra different things, extra lessons in the sport they're in, also match it in with education. But they've come up with a scheme that's actually worked in Bermuda that keeps the kids in Bermuda and allows them to still perform at a high level. Got a chance to speak with Ben about the success of the program. Let's get the interview with Ben Smith from Work Academy.
Ben Smith, you have been, over the last few months, having youngsters involved in a program at Work Academy, in a swimming program, and right off the bat, we've seen a response to the program with several personal bests being accomplished, several records being broken. What do you attribute that to? And we're going to talk about the latest event that you guys just came back from. I saw the numbers and was very impressed. So how is that program effectively helping these youngsters improve their times?
What it's done is given us the ability to take a group of swimmers that are all setting very similar goals. They would like to reach a high level in the sport. So it's a high performance program. It integrates their strength and conditioning and swimming during the school day, which means that they're getting more rest because at 4:30 in the afternoon they've done their schooling and they've also done probably 2 sessions of swimming and maybe strength and conditioning during that day. So now that gives them more time to do homework and more time to kind of get rest and recovery. So those things, along with the idea that with a small group that is focused on the details of getting better and getting the attention towards their specific needs, has very quickly shown us the benefits of that kind of program.
Now, this is something undertaken by Work Academy along with your help, but how convincing did you have to be to the organization of Work Academy to get this program up and running and now showing success?
Well, really what happened is a conversation with Dave Horn, the headmaster of Work Academy, who luckily was somebody thinking outside the box on what could be done locally to achieve higher levels within sport and other activities that athletes and students are interested in. He was pretty excited about the opportunity. A lot of youngsters now, when they show promise in a sport or another activity, are getting on a plane and going away to a prep school. So the idea was, if we could figure out a way to keep those students in Bermuda, spending more time with their family and spending more time locally taking part in what happens in the Bermuda community, it could only be a benefit to us. So we quickly came up with what the idea would look like. We looked at what overseas programs were doing and integrated that into the program. And as we're going through the year, we're learning from different decisions that we're making and improving on the fly. And so far, I think that everybody that's been part of the program is really excited about the results. And the school is really proud to have these students excelling.
Getting parents buy-in is always an important part of it, but are the parents surprised how quickly these youngsters have come around and the times have improved drastically?
Yes, they are. It's obviously when you come up with this kind of program, you hope that these are the results that you're going to get, but you don't really know until you get into what happens as we're going through the training and preparing. I knew that if we gave them the opportunity to put this work in, we should see the results. The big difference has been the way the athletes have bought into it, the work that they're putting in, the commitment, the team spirit that happens, the way they push each other through each practice, and also when we're at the competition. So building that kind of an environment usually leads to success, but obviously with the amount of success they've had, considering that, Bermuda swimming has been producing at a pretty high level over the last several years anyway, to watch this kind of progress is really exciting.
And for you, is it exceeding your expectation?
Definitely. The difficulty is that, obviously you're putting together all these different details, and it's a brand new program and how it fits in with the overall scheme of swimming in Bermuda. But I think that what it's showing is that, with this first sport, it's possible for us to do this with other individual sports in Bermuda, to keep people here, give them the training with, we have experts on island that can work on strength and conditioning and all the different pieces that are needed. You just have to have a group that's willing to put in the work and have the support from a school structured environment that allows you to get to where we all hope we can take these young people.
It's an interesting program. It's reap rewards. We've seen personal bests. We've seen records fall. So I believe this program is on the right path.
Well, I tell you, Earl, it brings smiles to my face because I don't know who came up with this, but they're taking the bull by the horns. And I say that because for many years, we have heard the idea of having a specialized sports program, sports school. We've heard many ministries talk about it.
Right.
But they say, we're not waiting anymore.
No.
We can't wait. We've heard too much and we can't wait anymore. And we've seen this with BFA of a hybrid of this, I'd say.
Right.
With the National Academy. We've seen this with the cricket, with the National Academy. It's not throughout the schooling day.
Right.
It's after schooling. But this is introduced throughout the day.
Right.
Now, if a lot of these kids will be away, let's say to Beats.
They'll be doing the same thing.
Darren Rollins was at. In the UK, they were doing things like this. Kamal and a lot of these other kids went to. The young Jordan Smith. Many, we can keep going on and on. If they went to the US, down in Florida. IMG. These are the schedulings that, they keep the academics in, but those off times will be predicated on fitness training, theory, and also practical. So to put this in our Bermuda system and carry it on in the swimming had never been done in swimming.
Right.
You always used to have kids go early mornings, or evening times.
Yeah, but as Ben said, it's a pilot program, and it can work for any sport. It just has to be implemented with everybody's backing, and that's the most important.
And that's the buy-in. And I think, to be honest with you, it comes down to coaching.
Yeah.
You've got to have. We said that could be some of the problems in our local schools, especially at sport, PE teachers, is having the proper instruction for each individual sport.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the access of a lot of coaches who are great at all the sports.
Yeah.
So you tend to see a school thrive where the PE coach is
that's their event.
Forte.
That's their sport.
The forte.
Yeah.
If the PE coach is for another sport, you expect that. You don't say expect it, but that normally happens.
Right.
Whereas now we're saying, look, and to be honest with you, I feel we've had ideas when we came talking about the national cricket team many years ago, very similar to this. Just how they break off of swimming, like you break off to another sport that you're good at, to accelerate that side. So you have a coach come in for that 1 or 2 hours a day just to give you that instruction,
right?
Not relying on the actual PE teacher
to do it.
Now the PE teacher will take care of the kids who are not in that so-called elite program.
While the others are concentrated on the sport.
And we bring in the professionals who are, got the certificates in those individual sports to come in and give them the proper instruction, because that's how these other programs are. They're not just bringing anybody who's got a PE teacher certificate to say, let's take, you go deal with the elite guys.
Right.
No, if they're going strength training, well, we're getting strength training certified guys to deal with it. And that's all they do. That's all they know. These strength training guys, they're not into, sports like that into strength training.
Right.
So hopefully this is a pilot. Number one, I hope it stays because
looking at the results, I can't see it going anywhere.
and the funding. You gotta say, hey, the funding. But we've noticed when parents see the results, they sort of come out of the pockets. Not only private, but also the private sector too.
Right.
So be interested to see how far this goes.
Yeah. But someone that has the same passionate drive, but on the track, is Jessica Lewis.
Pink Hurricane!
Oh yeah. She's going back to Canada now. Spent some time in Bermuda. Got a chance to speak with her just before she left at the National Sports Center. Here's Jessica Lewis. Jessica, 2018 is another important year. Although you don't have as many events, but you want to stay in tip-top shape. What's the plans for you now that were in 2018 for 2018?
So we have a few different events that we're going to. There's nothing major this year, but we do need to go to competitions to qualify for our major events next year. So we're going to like Switzerland again, and then I have training camp next month, which will be kind of the kickoff to the season. And I'm very fortunate that Tokyo has signed on to sponsor me again this year. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
Now, they've been a supporter of you for quite some time and really helped that push that you've needed. But over the years, you've grown in stature. You've grown around the world. You have another athlete, Flora Duffy, another female athlete. But when you go places and people recognize Jessica Lewis, how special is that for you to be recognized for your accomplishments?
It's pretty cool. I mean, even today, my sister and I went to lunch, and I could hear people at the next table like, "That's Jessica Lewis." And I'm just like, some people think that I can't hear them, but I do. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, and just to get awareness of parasport out there has been awesome.
Now, you're not alone in that and championing that call, especially in Bermuda. But over the next few years, especially heading to Tokyo, a lot's riding on their shoulders. Yeah. How broad are they?
I mean, I'm really nervous, but I've just got to stay focused and just go out there and race how I know I can race, and hopefully I've developed a little bit more muscle strength and just continue working on that. And I have 2 more years before that, so we're hoping to knock down some goals before then.
Now, obviously, you have to go back and defend that Parapan record time and gold medal. How are things shaping up, especially for that? Because that's one of the first ones before we get to the Olympics.
I mean, I feel like I'm in really good shape going into that as well. And I think we kind of just have to see how 2018 goes. And then that will kind of tell me where I'm at this year and then what I need to work on to hopefully defend it next year. Yeah.
Now, there was some talk of you possibly doing a few marathons this year, or half marathons. Any chance of doing the Bermuda?
I thought about it, but unfortunately I won't be able to now just because of the racing schedule, because I'm graduating in June, so I have to go to another race in May to make up for one that I'm going to miss for my graduation. So not this year, but hopefully sometime soon.
Bermuda's a tough course to talk about. You're going to do a half marathon, unlike in the US and Canada, some places where it's a lot flatter. I'm not saying there aren't any hills, but the mountains that you would have to climb in Bermuda become a bit more challenging. But if you were to do something of that nature, would you use that more as a training purpose to build muscle and build strength going over hills?
Yeah, definitely. We would do a lot of training on hills before I would even think about going into that, but definitely using it as a training opportunity and hopefully get stronger.
Well, Jess, we know it was a sad occasion in 2017 with the passing of Coach Ken. But where are we now as far as you training coaches and so forth?
Yeah, losing Ken was crazy. Yeah, I felt really lost after that, and but luckily right now we're kind of moving forward, and his son Curtis Tom, who is a racer as well, has signed on to help coach us, and we also have some support from Athletics Canada, just because I train with mainly Canadians, so we have a lady, Lisa, that's come on board to help us as well, and Rick Reilly, which is another coach for Canada, is helping us write training plans right now, so we kind of have a team of coaches helping us stay forward, because we know that Ken would be mad if we missed a practice. So
Now, styles are different for everyone, obviously. So how are you adjusting to the new style?
It's taking some time. We're kind of in a weird phase, I think, right now of just trying to figure out where we are, fitness-wise, I guess, and endurance-wise, and just trying to work out the different training plans and how it can fit into kind of what we're used to, but also being a little bit different to challenge us.
All right, well, Ken's behind you saying, get to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jay, we've come to the end of the first Digicel Sports Show of 2018. It's been a good one.
Yeah.
Covered a lot. But we have some things ahead in 2018 for you, our viewers, and those that disagree with us, that stop me on the street, say, you two guys are always wrong, and you're picking on us. Not to worry. Eventually, we'll be on your side.
Prove it. I tell you, and I get it all the time too. I say, it's nothing personal. Did you shut it up? It's on the field. It's on the field. So, it seems like one team may be dominating at the time, but hey, if you still think you're in it, well, do something about it.
Be in it, too, in it.
Do something about it. And the one thing about sports, we love the competition. So, bring it on.
Yes, indeed. Well, good night from the Digicel Sports Show.